Hi, it's Exploring John. We're parked here at Packhorse Ford. We're going to walk down to Culvert 103. As we look across the river here, this is where Packhorse Ford crossed from the Maryland side over to the Virginia side in history, or the West Virginia side today. We're starting our walk downstream. Here in the river we can see one of the sluices that was built to bypass the rapids. This is out in the Potomac River. The water's up, so it doesn't look very big today. Continue with our walk. We've made our way down into the Conococheague Gun Club, sitting up on the hill. Supreme Court Justice Douglas stopped here for lunch on his historic walk of the C&O Canal. And on we go. We've come upon another feature. It's a mile marker. Mile 71. And on we go. Here in the middle of the towpath, we see one of the geological survey markers for elevation. Not the first one we've seen on the canal, and probably won't be the last. And we'll continue on our way. We've popped out into the opening where Miller Sawmill Road comes down. There was a sawmill and a dock up here, a stone-lined area beside the canal. We'll take a look at it as we get closer. There are also some old buildings that were here during the canal days. We'll make our way down the towpath. Here's some more of the buildings. Now they're set up high in case it floods. We can see some flowers bloomed out here beside us on the towpath. It's that time of year where things are blooming out. Another one of the houses here at Miller Sawmill Landing. Here's another one of the houses. On down we go. Now the sawmill was on a stream, and this is where the stream comes through the culvert and empties into the Potomac. All that where you see trees there is usually not underwater, but being that the river's high, it's got things under. We've come down to the culvert at Miller Sawmill, and we're taking a look at it. There's water running through it. We can see through to the other side. This Culvert 104. Hopefully you can hear the water flowing through. This will show us the dock on the berm side here at Miller Sawmill. And we'll turn and keep going down the towpath. Alright, here we're taking a look at some more of the houses down here. Here's another one of the houses tucked up on the hillside. And down we go. Here's another one of the nice looking houses here on the hillside at Miller Sawmill. Here's another one of the beautiful houses on the hillside there beside the canal at Miller Sawmill. And down we go. Now we're getting ready to leave Miller Sawmill clearing, and we're back in the wood. And as we look to our left, we can see the last house that's lived in at Miller Sawmill Landing. Okay, we made it down here to Culvert 103. There's that stump, that's our turnaround spot. So as we get up to it, we've made it to the stump where we turn around, and we're looking across the canal bed upstream. And there's a little ravine over there that brings the stream down and goes across the culvert underneath us and out to the river. We're at the upstream side of Culvert 103. Taking a look at the stone here. You can see the original arch was built, and then it had a stonework built on top of it. Maybe you can hear the water gurgling in. Now we've come down the stream bed to see if we can look through the culvert and maybe walk through the culvert. Let's check it out. Well, first of all, yes, we can see through it. Now let's go for a walk. It's like a big tunnel. Or cave passage. Now, I've been in tighter caves than this. See, it looks pretty good in here. Up top we saw some sinkholes in the canal bed, but they didn't come into here. And yes, we're getting our feet wet. We'll come out on the Potomac Riverside. And out the other side, we can look out toward the river. We can look down at our waterfall. Now we have to walk back. We can see places in here where it has a concrete floor. Part of it's eaten away. The rest on out is pretty good shape. And back out. As we swing and look up, there seems to be a spring where this water's coming from. Up here across the road. Why don't we go over there and take a look at it? There's an old house here on the other side of the road, and I think we're going to look at the spring house. This is owned by the Park Service, but seems to be abandoned. Look at this. This used to have a spring house built up over this. A long run where you could store milk or other things you wanted to keep cold. As we look around, we see other stonework. Let's go up and look at the spring. As we come up, we see holes in the concrete where there were uprights that had a building over this, had a roof over it. See what we have here. A little box. And this is the spring. And it's running a pretty good amount of water out of it. So this is the spring that fed all that water that went through the culvert and we saw coming out the other side on our last walk. Pretty good amount, isn't it? Now as we look around, we see some other stonework up higher too. We could tell there used to be other buildings around here. Well, back to our hike. Okay, we've turned around at the stump, and now we're on our way back. And we're popping out into the opening at Miller's Sawmill. Alright, we're leaving the opening at Miller's Sawmill and headed back into the woods. And we're back to one of our features, the mile marker, mile 71. And we've popped out into the opening in the Conococheague Gun Club, which sits up here on the hill. All right, we're leaving the opening and heading back into the woods again. Well, we're back where we started, here at Packhorse Ford. See you next time.